there is now a numerical score for a small bowel Crohn's lesion that goes up and down with success of medical management, and it is available for clinical use. The year is 2026, and we have had the context paper now published in JCC. When we got awarded the funding from the NHR to do this paper, I was a much younger man, didn't have a beard, COVID hadn't happened yet, and life was in some ways a lot easier. Over the years, we've been looking with context at really the key outstanding question that we had hovering around GI Quant, and that is, what do the clinicians make of it? And in summary, in routine clinical care, standard of care, not even the trial setting, we found that the GI Quant score was trending with what clinicians were seeing, and indeed was impactful when it came to their evaluation of a small bowel Crohn's lesion at 12 months. And I think this shows that outside of the academic setting, GI Quant is performing as expected, providing numbers in the range to be expected, and has the potential to be a valuable adjunct to standard of care, providing a numerical score for small bowel lesions in Crohn's. I think reflecting on this, my entire life, certainly kind of academically, has been about developing and sort of validating this market, but the validation takes different steps. So I defended my PhD thesis in 2014, and we technically knew we were onto something when it came to quantifying peristalsis as a marker. But of course, peristalsis as a biomarker of inflammatory activity had only just been described at that point. We'd rediscovered it, if you like, from the barium days 50 years ago plus. But we've had to, over that time, re-educate gastroenterologists on actually considering this as a biomarker. The technology's had to be CE marked, FDA cleared. It's had to, go through lots of rounds of technical validation. So that is what happens in different scanners, what happens with different readers, what happens in kids versus adults. And we've done all of that now. And I think the context was really the step towards putting this into clinical practice for routine gastroenterologists to play with, and represents a huge step for me on getting this towards clinical adoption. Now, we're not there yet, and I think a biomarker doesn't just appear in clinic. If we look at fecal calprotectin, it's taken 30 years to get to where it is today, and it's not even done yet. It is a marathon, not a sprint, and I think Motilent has been set up to endure the gulf between technical description and clinical usage, and we're just not there yet. But the test is on the market, we have a growing number of sites using it, and we now have actual guidance data coming through on exactly how and where you would use this in the context of Crohn's. And it comes at a time that's extraordinarily exciting for how we even consider Crohn's disease. A patient with nasty fibrotic disease is not the same as a person with subtle mucosal damage in the colon. And the treatments we give them, the cost of those treatments, and the timing and sequencing of that medical management all needs better management. We're seeing that coming from ultrasound, but boys, are a lot of catching up to do with MRI, and GI Quant as an adjunct to the MRI is going to make it sharper, more quantitative, more specific and situational, and really help us move the diagnostic landscape forward alongside these wonderful new drugs that are coming through and the combinations that we put together in to actually help with better outcomes. So in some ways, I'm signing off here from doing academia around GI Quant. I think we've done our part, and now it's over to the community. And I think it's a real pleasure to have this paper published in JCC to a gastro audience. And I really hope there's some good questions that come out of all the work. Thank you.